Morning, everybody. I hope you're all well and in good spirits. Today I got the Raza news again. Kind of light stuff for the most part. Um, and good news, I think. So the first one is John Leguizamo has a show that celebrates Latino culture. Now, I know everybody doesn't like the term Latino. But in this case, it's easier just to say that than to name all the cultures he's going to showcase because I don't know them all. I believe the first one was in LA and he was highlighting, the cultura out here. The second episode was him in Miami highlighting Cubano cultura there in Miami. I've always wanted to go to Miami, see what it was like, see the nightlife. And though I haven't made it, I'm kind of glad my daughter got to go. She went for a Bad Bunny concert, and I'm pretty sure I helped her get there. So I don't know if I did or didn't, but I know I've helped her travel places. So um, even if I haven't, I'm glad she has. And I'll get to travel there by watching John Leguizamo's show about it. A lot of times people talk about, we're all raza, we're all raza, we're all brown. I think even more than skin color, what unites me with other people as raza is a shared understanding of the oppression of indigenous peoples being the same story, whether you're in North Dakota, the Yucatan, Central America, or South America. It's the same story. I think the story of oppression of the people of the Americas who are indigenous here is what makes us raza. Our stories are the same up and down, this continent. Or continents, because South America too, right? The second story is about a program Biden implemented. The reason I read about it is because of the veterans who had been deported from the U.S. One was a woman, the only woman that was deported as a U.S. service person, former U.S. service person. And so Biden implemented this program where it makes it easier for deported veterans to come back. And because she was the only woman and had gone through the program and was now allowed back into the United States to pursue a life here, to apply for citizenship. I thought that was great news because I think I've seen, liberal raza call that a travesty of justice. I've seen conservative raza call the deportation of, service members an injustice, especially when they not only serve the country by joining the armed services, but by serving abroad during a war. Some of them came back with PTSD because of the horrific things they saw. They self-medicated, got caught with drugs, and then were subsequently deported. And there's a sense of unfairness to someone fighting for this country, being traumatized by the experience, and then being expelled for how they chose to deal with that trauma. Some might have just been criminals, and I don't think anyone's advocating for everyone to return, especially in cases where innocents were harmed. That brings me to my third piece. Speaking of conservative Chicanos, I'd hear a lot of them promote conservatism to the raza. I would often ask, why should I go here? And let me tell you, an open mind is not based on your beliefs. Just because you have liberal beliefs doesn't mean you're open-minded. Open-minded means you're willing to change your mind when you receive updated, more thorough, better information, better data, convincing arguments. When you learn stuff that you didn't know and it makes you change your beliefs to a new beliefs, that's being open-minded. Now, if you change it every time someone talks to you, that's weak-minded. But I would hear Raza, really promote conservatism and Trump even. And so I would ask questions, and never was I given, I think, an intelligent response on why I should support conservatism. It always descended into bashing Biden for his age. He don't know where he's at. He needs a diaper. Very childish arguments in support of high-minded ideas like conservatism, liberalism. Smart people could have a really intellectual conversation about that. Sadly, I did not see Raza, at least on YouTube, the YouTube genre we're all familiar with, capable of having those conversations. It always descended into the pettiest attacks on someone's personality, their age. An immature discussion is what I got from it. Even worse, I'd hear speaking points from Fox News that were not based on fact. And these Raza conservatives would promote these lies, which I always saw as harmful to our community. The news is that those Chicano conservatives have egg on their face. And if any of them, in defense of their political beliefs, promoted the lie about Dominion without any proof, just because their conservative idols were saying it, Fox News settled for $800 million to not go to trial and be further exposed for the lies they promoted. Their anchor folks were caught on text and in recordings, which they didn't deny, saying these people are all liars, but we need to promote it for the sake of our channel and our station. I think all the Raza that ever made an argument in favor of conservatism using weak arguments about Dominion rigged the election, the machines were not working here, or if you promoted any of that bullshit to the Raza, now that it's been proven as a lie, I think you owe the Raza an apology. Not for being a conservative, but for telling them lies that you had no proof, that have been exposed as lies now. Tucker Carlson just got fired. Raza's talking about two vatos beefing, and there's real news going on. Fox News has caused a lot of the division in this country. I would watch it because I follow all sides of the news, so at least I'm aware of what the side I disagree with is saying. And over time, I saw it get progressively darker and uglier and biased towards people that look like me. I've seen Fox News promote tropes about Mexicans and Raza and give platforms to people who'd say things like, we all have calves as big as cantaloupes from bringing drugs across the border. Steve is a dude from Iowa, just a rotten dude. But Fox gave him a platform when he was bashing us if immigration was going to get conservatives to the polls. I'm glad to see them take this big hit. I'm glad to see Tucker Carlson fired. Because in private text, he admitted Trump was a demonic figure, that Trump's sycophants were liars. But when the camera went on, he smiled and promoted that shit. Can't stand lies. And So I'm glad they've been exposed for being liars, especially because of all the vitriol and hate they allowed to be expressed against people of color, and especially people from south of the border. So that's the Raza news for today. John Leguizamo has a show highlighting Latino culture, Raza, if you will, and its various um, subgroups. You know, the Miami culture of Cubanos is different than the Mexican or Chicano culture in California. Our foods are different. Our holidays are different. Our traditions are different. The way we speak is different. Cubans are, man, they speak pretty fast. And a Mexican who speaks Spanish fluently, doesn't even speak English, might interact with a Cuban who doesn't speak English and only speaks Spanish, and they may have trouble understanding them because they speak so fast. They use different words. You know, coño chico. Mexicans don't use coño. And so it's interesting. You know, if you really are beating your chest about we're all raza, this might be a good show to watch so you get an understanding beyond the shared oppression to some of the positive things we celebrate and do in our daily lives. Biden implemented a program that is helping deported veterans come back. 67 of them, I believe, have been brought back to the U.S., which is a great thing. And I Googled it and saw that before this program, some veterans were already being brought back. And I think what was happening there, this is just a guess, is that even after they were deported, they still had lawyers working on their case, looking for a technicality that would allow them to reopen the case and try again. And in some rare instances, they were successful. And I only bring that up because, again, these conservatives might say, well, look, people were getting brought back before Biden was put in office. That's true. And they might try to credit Trump if it happened on his watch. But it could also be that they just had lawyers who found a technicality and were brought back. It had nothing to do with the president. This time, it does have to do with the president specifically creating a program to bring these folks back. And now this mom, U.S. service person, is back with her family, which I think is a good thing. I'm guessing the experience is probably going to make her appreciate the opportunities here a lot more. And I'm sure folks will look out for her. The third one, as it pertains to Raza, was those conservatives who were repeating the same lies they heard on Fox, especially around the voting machines. They have egg on their face, and they owe Raza an apology for misguiding them, missteering them. Even if they were misguided and missteered themselves, they promoted that. And they owe Raza an apology. Not for being conservatives again, but for promoting lies and promoting their conservatism. So that's the Raza news for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and, celebrate life. Have a good one.